Hey everybody, it's Matt Shu from Upright Health, and in this video we're going to talk about popping and cracking in your shoulder. A little while ago I put up a video about how shoulder mobility could save your life because it saved my life for real, and I got a question from This Is Review on that video in the comment section, and This Is Review said, are pops and cracking noises in the shoulder normal? Or, should you be worried? And so this is an awesome question. So this is review, whether you're a man, a woman, or whatever. Maybe you're a dog or a cat who just likes to sit around all day. Whatever you are. Thank you so much for the question and the comment. And if you have a question, be sure to leave it in the comment section down below. I'm talking to you, not to This Is Review. I'm talking to you. And so this cracking, this popping, is it good? Is it bad? Is it dangerous? Should you be worried if you have cracking and popping in your shoulder? The answer is it all depends, and I'm going to break it down for you in this video. If you have popping and cracking in your shoulder, you've probably been worried that you have arthritis, maybe you're getting old, and maybe your shoulder needs to be completely replaced because can they do that? Maybe they can. And so I want to get some things out of the way right away. If you are having pain while there's popping and cracking, that's something you want to address. And at the end of this video, I'm going to explain what you should be doing about it. If you're just getting occasional pops and cracks, they aren't really hurt, then it's not a big deal. I personally used to be really worried about sound effects from my shoulder. I would get these pops and cracks and I was thinking, wow, that really can't be normal. That's not good at all. And it's something I thought about even after I fixed my shoulder pain. I would still get cracks and pops every now and then, especially between the shoulder blade and the ribs, which I'll talk about a little bit more. And I used to always wonder, does that mean my body is kind of messed up? Do I need to fix something even more deeply to make sure my body never makes any of these cracks and pops around the shoulder joint or between the shoulder blade and the ribs? And I want to tell you that when I had my son, I didn't give birth to him personally. I haven't yet figured out how to do that. I noticed when I was holding him some days in my lap or in my arms that when he would move around, he would actually get popping and cracking noises in his shoulders. I still remember one day sitting in this little rocking chair thing with him. He turned in some way and I felt this crazy gunk from his shoulder blade, shoulder joint area. And I was like, whoa, okay. So that was a really interesting moment for me because it clearly illustrated that the sound effects around the shoulder are not age related unless you count older than 0 being age related, because he was tiny and couldn't even walk at that point, and his body was making those little pops and cracks and clicks. However, it is an indication that maybe potentially muscles are involved here. If you don't really have developed shoulder muscles, maybe you might get more clunking and popping, which I think may be true. But before we go too far down that road, I do want to also talk about the location of pops and cracks. So if you are getting clunks and pops and cracks around the rib cage, right, and you feel it when you move your shoulder blade around, you feel some crunching and popping kind of near the spine and between the shoulder blades, that is not something I would be really concerned about. I've seen that happen with a lot of people. It can also resonate as a low frequency, clunk clunk, that you can feel the vibration move into the shoulder, but it's clearly not happening where the arm bone is meeting the shoulder blade. That's the ribs and the scapula, the shoulder blade, kind of moving in a funky way and maybe rubbing most likely. And that doesn't really matter that much. It's not something where you're going to sever anything, you're going to break anything, but it does tell you that you may need to retrain some of the muscles there so that you can get cleaner movement. So when you're talking about movement of any kind, I'm always looking for clean movement, friction-free movement, where you don't have weird deviations that are unnecessary. You're looking for efficient movement without noise, without extra wasted energy or direction. So in the case of my son, I mentioned he was a newborn and was getting clunks around his shoulder blade, shoulder joint, and he doesn't get them so much anymore now that he's almost 4, and those Noises don't happen as much, so that may very well be due to the fact that he's got more muscle, he's got more coordination, he's learned how to use his shoulder blade muscles and his shoulder muscles a lot better than when he was just a little crying sack that liked to pee and poo on me. So if you are somebody who's experiencing those clunks around your shoulder blade, it doesn't mean that you're dying in any way. It just might mean that you need to do something besides being lazy computer using sack who poos and pees on his chair all the time, right? So think about that. Make sure you are using those muscles so that your body is able to move the shoulder blades relative to the rib cage properly. That will also make a huge difference if you get popping and cracking and pain actually at the shoulder joint. So personal experience, I have had both popping and cracking between the ribs and shoulder blade and at the shoulder joint. The stuff between the ribs and the shoulder blade, and once I got that to clear up, the stuff that was happening here actually got better. And also I needed to do more work to teach the muscles around the shoulder joint how to move and hold the humerus through a full range of motion. So what does it mean to have a humerus that's held properly? Well, if you are trying to go through a full range of motion with the shoulder joint and you're trying to rotate and reach and do all these things, you have to train the muscles around that joint to be able to manage it. Most people at the gym are not doing that. Most people at the gym are working on doing push-ups, bench press, and then more bench press, and then they're doing pull-ups, chin-ups, rows, which are all fine. These are all good exercises, but all of these exercises train for strength in the same positions. So think about this. When you're doing a chin-up or a pull-up, you've got maximum resistance. You're working right here. This is where you're really telling all your shoulder muscles, work. When you're doing a bench press, ooh, maximum resistance is happening right here. Ooh, yeah, and then you push, get through that sticking point, and then you're up. So what have you done is you've basically trained your body to produce maximum strength output here, either pushing from here, pulling here. Same thing with rows, right? If you're doing seated rows or bent over rows, whatever it is, you're still getting maximum strength here, maximum strength there. You're not actually training great shoulder mobility, right? Even at the high end of the pull-up, most people are cheating that. They're probably like doing this and not even doing the full pull-up, never achieving a hang. And then you're really shorting your muscles. You're not giving them the opportunity to do what they can do, right? Which is to be able to express strength at multiple angles. So if you are noticing that you are getting crunchy and cracking at the shoulder joint, you need to make sure you have a balanced amount of exercise in many directions and that you're going into a full range of motion. How do you do that? Well, for starters, you have to break outside the box of just powerlifting and doing bench press, pull-ups and push-ups and chin-ups and rows. You've got to do at least a little bit more. Add in some work that isn't as sexy, but also build some of those smaller muscles. You can use bands to do band pull-aparts. You can use cables to do exercises with your arms overhead. You can do simple things like hanging from 1 or 2 arms from a bar overhead, using active motions with your shoulder blade, trying to figure out where you're weak and getting used to being in those weak positions so that your body can open up. If all you're doing is you're definitely going to shorten up the muscles that keep you in this locked position, and anytime you try to leave that locked position, you're likely to experience pops and cracks and hopefully not tears. I still vividly remember the time I was getting a really deep massage under my pec, and the guy reached under, this was life-changing, he reached under my pec major and pec minor to loosen stuff up, and once he got his fingers under there, there was a loud goop. Both he and I were shocked to hear it, and I asked him, what was that? Was that normal? And he was really honest and said, you know, I'm not really sure, but it felt great because it actually was, as far as I could tell, it was actually the pec major and pec minor kind of unsticking and ungluing from the rib or something. Just suddenly I was able to move my shoulder again, and it just felt so much looser and freer. So those things can happen, but if you're getting all these pops and cracks all the time, you definitely want to be doing other exercises that challenge your shoulders into more strength at more lengths. So as I say on this channel all the time, you want strength at every length. You want to explore ranges of motion to build your shoulder mobility, improve your shoulder mobility in all kinds of directions. If you need help and ideas, I'm going to drop several links in the description box for some shoulder mobility exercises and stretches, just different things that you can do. And go check those out. They will help you. And just search the whole wide internet and see what you can do to build your shoulder strength. If you're looking for a program that can help you with shoulder pain, be sure to check out the Shoulder Fix program. I will link it down below. And check out my playlist on shoulders, which will also be linked down below. In summary, popping and cracking around the shoulder is not that big a deal. It's really a sign that you need to train the muscles around your shoulder joint and your shoulder blade better. Remember to ATM, always think muscles, because the science behind shoulder surgeries is pretty crappy, and I'll link to something down below to talk about orthopedic surgeries if you need to read something like that and blow your own mind. And if you found this video super helpful and you want to help support this channel, use that thanks button down below here on YouTube, or you can use the PayPal link to send me a donation. I'll leave that link down below. I'd like to say thanks to Spencer Troy for his donation to support the Upright Health YouTube channel. If you'd like to support this channel too, use that thanks button down below here on YouTube. And you are not obligated to send me any money. If you don't want to, that's totally cool. Just hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone you know with some shoulder popping and cracking. I'm Matt Shu from Upright Health, reminding you that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.